Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Today we have a very special guest joining us who is performing at the Kokua for Japan benefit this Sunday and April 10th. Quite a gathering with a lot of people coming together. Among them, this artist, an internationally recognized and appreciated musician who is part of our local community and will be joining fellow Valley Isle musician Mick Fleetwood, is one way to refer to him, and others playing with Henry Capono. So it's sort of an inter-island coming together, if you will, musically. The last time we spoke with him, he was appearing at the Waikiki Shell about a year ago with Boz Scaggs, and it's a pleasure to welcome back our friend, one of music's great voices and talents, Michael McDonald. Aloha and mahalo, Brother Michael.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
What's going on, dude? Thank you for being willing to take a few minutes for us here.
Oh, always a pleasure, man. It's such a worthwhile cause that both of us are here for, and I'm just only too glad to do it, you know.
That's very cool. Now, how did you get the call to be involved with Kokua for Japan?
Well, Henry Capono had reached out to me in an effort to just raise as much money as we possibly can in a short time and make our small contribution to what we all know is a monumental tragedy. It'll take efforts like this and so many more to really hopefully make a difference. In all these things, it's all about what we all can do individually and then collectively, because we're in these times where I think in this world, given all the different things that are going on politically and environmentally, even with the advent of Twitter and Facebook, it doesn't seem like we can sit on the sidelines anymore. We're either part of the solution or part of the problem, and this is something I think all of us are only too glad to step up and help out with, because it's an unfathomable tragedy that's taken place in Japan.
Yeah, man, no question about that. And good point you make, the interconnectedness and the way that social media is sort of, in some ways, driving a lot of these changes that you mentioned. Changes of all kinds and helping out in cases like this, getting the word out. Just out of curiosity, are those wind chimes that I'm hearing in the background?
Yeah, they are. I'm sitting on my porch talking to you.
That's great. No, I like that. That's a nice quality there. Where were you, Michael, when the earthquake and tsunami hit Japan?
I was on the road, and I'm trying to think of exactly where. It kind of gets to be all a blur out there, but I was probably in Florida. Like anything of this nature and this magnitude, you have a hard time wrapping your head around it, and I think we've all had a hard time wrapping our head around it ever since, you know. And those of us living here in the islands, it brings it home all the more to us because, you know, here we are living next to a big honking volcano that's going off as we speak. So, you know, these kind of things can happen, and we have to be prepared. I think the Japanese, in terms of the earthquake, were so incredibly prepared. But, you know, tsunami is just something that it's hard to protect yourself against, especially one of that magnitude.
No question. The thing was enormous. So you were on the road. How many times have you, as a musician who's gotten to travel and whose music, like I was mentioning, is appreciated the world over, how many times have you gotten to go to Japan? When was the first time, if you can recall?
It would have been around 1976, 75, 76. I went over for the first time with the Doobie Brothers. And it's such a remarkable culture, remarkable country. And I think that's never been more apparent than right now in terms of how the Japanese people have faced this tragedy, and even those most affected by it with such bracing dignity and courage. You know, they're such an example to the rest of the world of a spiritual consciousness that you know, it would be nice if the whole world had that. You know, we'd be a much better place overall. You know?
There's really a lot of lessons that we get as people from the way that they have reacted under duress, I guess you could say, that you're mentioning. When you've been there traveling and performing, going back obviously over, you know, about 34, 35 years.
I think what I find so interesting about Japanese culture is how calm in the face of so many things that can, like you say, cause such emotional duress for all of us. And I know they do for them too, but just their whole way of approaching those kind of things in a very zen state of mind that they have collectively and individually. But also, you know, I've often thought that the real paradox with the Japanese people, or the interesting thing to me, is how passionate they are at the same time as a culture, artistically and especially for music. Over the years, the Doobies, we always, you know, enjoyed a certain popularity over there that we always really kind of treasured and looked forward to going back each trip. And I think they seem to be an audience that had been with the band for many years prior to my joining them, you know, in the early Doobies, through our Taking to the Streets and the records I did with them. It seemed to be, and of course I've toured over there with my own band since leaving the Doobies, and found, always a warm welcome on all kinds of levels. And we've played everything from clubs over there to the Budokan and venues like that. Played there. One of my fondest memories, I went over with Christopher Cross one year, and we played at the Blue Note clubs around Tokyo, and we played one night at the Budokan while we were there. But it was fun playing the clubs, and it's a different kind of audience.
That's cool.
I'm planning on going over this December, and I hope it works out that we do with the Dukes of September, which is Donald Fagen, myself, and Boz Skaggs.
Yeah, I was looking at the reviews and stuff. It's a real treat. You got to try to bring that bad boy out here to the islands, my brother.
Yeah, I would love to. We'd love to. Maybe, hopefully, if we do the Japan trip, we'll stop, on our way to or from.
Speaking of live performance here in the islands, back to this gig. When people show up at the Great Lawn, what can they expect out of you? I mean, they're going to see you, I'm assuming, as part of Henry's set. Sort of give us a little preview of what's going to be in store with your portion of the performance at Kokua for Japan.
Well, I think like most of the artists, I'll do about 3 or 4, maybe 5 songs. I play with Henry's band, often enough over the years where I can just come and sit in and I'll probably jump over there for a rehearsal or two, just to kind of refresh our aging memories, together on the arrangements and stuff that we've done over the years. But I'm not sure exactly all who's doing it, but I've played a little bit with Mick. We toured through Australia together with Boz, and I've certainly played with Henry over the years. So I'll be playing with Henry's band, and they may be backing up a few other people. Mick's going to play drums with us,
nice.
On a couple things. So, and all the guys in Henry's band are world-class players. So it's always a good thing.
It's ironic that this is happening right when the Doobies are about to hit the Blaisdell for the first time since the December, the New Year's 2003 gig, which you were a part of, right? You came over for that, yeah?
I believe so. It was at the
Isaac Hayes and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Martha Reeves was on the bill.
That's right.
Shaka Khan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting old. I can't remember that whether or not you were there, but now I'm remembering. At least you're helping me remember it.
Well, what's even worse, Dave, is I can't even remember. I know I'm going to sit in with him in Maui here. We've all remained pretty close over the years, and I see Pat a lot over here. He and I do a lot of little gigs around Maui together for this or that. Usually they're like little charity things that we do, and it's always a lot of fun.
Kind of like New Year's Eve with James from Metallica.
Yes, that was quite a lineup. Alice Cooper, James Hetfield, and Pat and myself.
How incongruous! Michael McDonald and James Hetfield. What a picture!
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. And he was great, too. I enjoyed it very much.
You've really made quite a connection to Hawaii over the years living here.
I'm actually moving as we speak. My wife and I are moving into a little bigger place here. We kind of decided to be here full time.
Oh, nice. Are you?
Yeah, we've been living in a little cottage when we came, and it was kind of just big enough for both of us, So now we're thinking with being here full time, we need to actually have a little more room. So that's what we're doing all week.
I think that's great. And your son, Dylan, is he going to be joining you at the show here?
He is back on the mainland right now. He's been playing with his band. They've been playing quite a few gigs, and they just got done playing at South by Southwest, and I was able to swing through and catch them playing at that festival. I'm trying to talk him into coming over here and playing at Charlie's here in Maui, and just some club dates and stuff, and it would be great fun for him. The kids grew up here for the most part on Maui ever since they were little things. We've been coming over, so it's kind of home for him too. And I think at the level he's at, they really have to think long and hard about how far they can go and how they get there.
We'll stay in touch on that. Maybe we have him play here at HPR in Honolulu and our Atherton, maybe a little acoustic, intimate show.
Oh, he would love that. He would absolutely love that.
Well, we'll keep it in mind, and if it's cool with you, we'll hook up when you're here in town, record a short interview if that's all right while you're on island.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, Dave, and really appreciate you guys coming on board for this. I know you wouldn't think of not doing it, but it really it's huge, as you know, for the Kokua Festival, and we all really appreciate it.
Well, right back at you, and it's the least I can do. I've tried to do everything I can personally to make people aware of whatever's going on, and likewise, your commitment to the community is outstanding and to helping out. And we'll stay in touch, and I'll look forward to hooking up with you on the 10th when you're in town here in Honolulu.
All right, Dave. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, Michael. Thanks again. Be safe, brother.
See you soon. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Aloha.